One important skill that you will use repeatedly in environmental science and other science classes is converting numbers from one unit of measure to another. On page 7 of the text, you'll see this box that says do the math, and it explains what a hectare is. And a hectare tells you how to convert from a hectare to various other units that are more useful, square miles and other units of that nature. And then on page 11, you'll notice that we get a little information about the amount of forest land that is cleared per second in the world. And they give us a big number here, this number right here, that there's 12,614,400 hectares of land destroyed per year. So how big is that number? So if we're trying to figure out how big is this number, 12 million, this 12 million number, how big is that? Well, let's do a little comparison. Let's compare that to the number of square miles in 3 states, New Jersey, Virginia, and Texas. You can see how many square miles there are. So what we're going to essentially do is convert the square miles of New Jersey to hectares, Virginia to hectares, and Texas to hectares, and compare which one is closest. So we need to do a couple pieces of information. Number one, that a square mile is 640 acres, and then 2.47 acres is 1 hectare. So if we know that, we can essentially solve this problem relatively easily. So let's start with one state at a time. We have to do one state at a time. So we'll start with New Jersey. New Jersey has 8,721 square miles. I'm going to say MI squared. All right. I'm going to then multiply that by, and I need to kind of get things to cancel out. So I've got this conversion here, and I'm going to put a fraction here. I'm going to put 1 MI squared. That's the mile squared from this number right here. And I'm going to say 640 acres. And when I multiply that out with my calculator, I get a pretty big number. I get 5,568,000 acres. Now I don't want acres, I want to convert it to the hectare, right? So then I'm going to take 5,568,000 acres, put that in parentheses, and I'm going to use another conversion. This is this 2.47 acres. So if I put the fraction here, and by the way, when I put the miles squared, I do this so the miles squares cancel. Then I'm going to say that there are 2.47 acres. Notice how I put it on the bottom first, because I want to get these acres to cancel. And then I'll say 1 hectare. I'll call it an HA. How about that? So that way the acres cancels. So essentially, I'm going to take this number, 5 million number, divide by 2.47. I get my calculator out, and I get still a pretty big number. I get 2,227,200 hectares, HA. So that's the number that goes in this box. So that's the first one. Once we do New Jersey, we're going to flip from New Jersey, and we're going to do Virginia. Okay? Now, for Virginia, you've got 42,774 square miles. Notice MI squared. Now I'm going to put my miles squared in the bottom. Again, this is that 1 square mile. So 1 MI squared. I put it in the bottom first. And I'm going to say 640 acres. The mile squared cancels. I'm going to multiply these two numbers together. 42,774 times 664. Get a pretty big number. 27,392,000 acres. And then I'm going to put that down here, say 27,392,000 acres. And I'm going to use the second conversion. Now you're probably getting the hang of this deal. I'm going to say 2.47 acres. Again, I put that on the bottom because I want it to cancel out with the acres up here on top. And I'm going to say 1 hectare, 1 HA. The acres cancel. Now I'll take this number, divide by 2.47, and I get a number of, pretty big number, 10,956,800 hectares. And that goes here. And when you do one more, we got to do big old Texas. Texas got a lot bigger number of square miles. Let's see how that is. 268,581 miles squared. And I'm going to say I've got, what have I got? 1 mile squared is equal to 640 acres, right? Multiply those two numbers together, and I get a really big number. And I get 171,904,000 acres. I then take that number, 171, 904,000 acres. And I'm going to use the acre to hectare conversion. 2.47, that's a 4, acres is equal to 1 hectare. So you'll divide the numbers, and you get a pretty big number here. You get 68,761,600 hectares. So those are numbers. I'll have a little summary page right here. So here's the numbers I've got. About 5 million for New Jersey, almost like 11 million for Virginia, and Texas is 68 million. Now if you look at our number here, the actual, this is how much we lose in 1 year or whatever, is 12 million. So clearly Virginia is, so we lose the size of Virginia of forested land per year. That's a lot. Not as big as Texas, but it's still a big number. So that is the answer to the question.